Hey guys, how's it going? It's that 3 p.m. energy. I love it. So I'm Ryan Detert. I'm the CEO and founder of Influential. Today, there's two reasons to stick around. One, here's some sage advice from Rachel and Ebony. And two, learn a number of Gen Z terms to impress your kids and friends. All right. So we'll start off by understanding how did you guys, introduce yourselves, but how did you guys get into the CPG and media world? Ebony, want to start?
Sure. Hi, I'm Ebony Jones. I am VP of Content at Spark Foundry. And I have actually been on the agency side my entire career. I started off in Chicago to LA to New York, and now live in Atlanta. But I feel like I still live here in New York because I'm here all the time. And I've worked across a number of different verticals, including auto, entertainment, fashion, finance, and then I landed on CPG when I got here at Spark. And it is really great to be working on CPG. I think, it's interesting in how we can actually really integrate into consumers' lives. And I think it's so appealing to me because there's a large range of things that we can do. And you're seeing how our specific category, soup, is growing, and we're continuing to do so much more as with Campbell. So yeah, that's how I ended up here at Spark.
Hi, I'm Rachel, media manager at Campbell's. I've been in the advertising industry my entire career. I first started on the agency side. I worked at a couple of different holding companies, including Omnicom, Dentsu, WPP. And I've worked across verticals, including CPG, tech, entertainment, and I've always had a passion for CPG. I worked on Frito-Lay, Reckitt Benckiser, and so when the opportunity came up to work at Campbell's, an iconic CPG brand, I just had to pursue it. So I'm really excited to be at Campbell, and I love working with the Spark and Influential team.
And you mentioned iconic. So 150-year plus brand. How do you balance that? How do you take something that historically has been around for pretty much almost nearly the entire time of America, and then you marry that to culturally relevant moments, trending topics, consumer preferences? So I'd love to hear what your thoughts are in terms of that balance.
Yeah, so I'm really lucky to work for Campbell, like you said, an iconic brand that's been around for 150 years. It's a brand that is so recognizable. We have this great asset, the red and white Campbell's can, that anyone can recognize. So awareness is really high. But what we need to do is to make sure that our brand is still relevant. And so what we do is we continue to evolve the way that we represent the brand. And with what we're doing with influencers and Influential is that we use influencers to create, have creators create food content that is relevant to the creator's heritage, their culture, what they need for their families. And we have them represent the brand in a way that makes sense to them and to their followers. But what hasn't changed about the way that we represent Campbell's is that Campbell's has always been a pantry staple. It's been a brand that consumers have been using for over 100 years as a cooking aid. And we continue to infuse that into our content as being an important way to cook. But we do it in a way that is just modern. We use modern ingredients that are trending, and food preparations that are popular to make sure that our brand is seen in a modern way.
Any add, Ebony?
No, I think we're
on point. So actually, pursuant to that, so you have the way you guys have stayed on culture. When we talk about the idea of trend spotting or trend hacking or seeing what's happening relevantly in the zeitgeist, how do you believe? I guess why do you believe that creators plus that equals outsized gains?
Yeah, I can take this one. So I think it's about meeting consumers where they are, entering that cultural conversation. And I think as it relates to trend spotting, what we were able to do is find ways in which our brand could organically show up. And I think, something that Campbell's does a really great job at, and we've been really able to do with Influential, is identifying what are the right moments, what are the right trends, where we identify should we use the brand voice versus the voice of others, right? And so within that trend spotting, it's not about Campbell's just inserting themselves in every single trend. It's identifying where will we naturally show up. So that has allowed us to tap into trends, like simple trends such as like hashtag celebrate was like trending at some point during our campaign. And we had an influencer really talk about his favorite birthday meal, and be able to pull Campbell's through into that content. And so when you go back to what Rachel just mentioned about really driving that relevancy, that's a small thing, but it is very much so about showing how a Campbell's meal is like so important to me and me celebrating my next year of life. And then there's also tentpole moments when you think about like the Oscars. That's something typically, Campbell's has not really tapped into. Like we don't do big campaign pushes around the Oscars, but who doesn't want a quick meal just to cook up when it's time to watch an Oscar? I don't want to make a 2-hour, meal. I want to get there and be able to watch the award show. And so we were able to integrate into that conversation as well. And so I think, we've done a really great job in being able to identify ways for consumers to say, hey, Campbell's is a brand for me because it's been a household staple, but also because these are the meals that I'm able to cook with no matter the occasion.
It's a mixture of culture relevancy, but also utility and driving back, the core parts of the brand. So that's really smart. So I always want to kind of level set in terms of, we talk about trend or trend spotting. Trends can be a very ubiquitous word for a number of things. We always talk about the idea of signals, moments, and forces. So like, for example, there's a moment in time where from like 1 to 3 days, something has just popped off. It goes crazy on TikTok or on one of these platforms, Reddit or Meta. We have signals where for maybe 1 to 3 weeks, we're seeing this consistently growing and becoming part of like the lexicon. And then really the forces, it's driving, the get ready with me concept is a thing that became now part of everyone's campaigns and thought process. So I would love it if you guys could drop the one pager on the screen if you guys get that signal. We'll talk about, there it is. We'll talk about a campaign we ran together, we're all very proud of, and it was around the red and white can. And the idea is you have on TikTok, how do you do menu or kind of kitchen hacks, but also do something around making something for your loved one. So actually like cooking for someone that you love in your family. And the idea was, how do you find moments in time? So I'm going to actually do it by raising of hands. Who here is familiar with the term Reiss? It's a very cool room. Wow, we gotta get better. Don't feel bad if you know what it is. It didn't exist till about February, March. It is short for charisma, indescribable something that is someone that can provide that that feeling. So the idea was taking insights that we were able to see through our technology and through the team was that the concept of Reiss, which is both one, brand safe, two, has no IP issues, there's no song or anything built into it. Is that a good fit for a campaign with chefs or with for loved ones? When you have an amazing team from the agency side and the brand side that can take that information, internalize it, and determine, let's proceed with this. You can then take creators that are already kind of prefabbed, ready to go for a campaign, and then add in the creative brief, something around a trending topic. And when we did that, we saw tremendous results. So before we did a campaign, the average influencer native post was about 3 or 4x above their usual view count or engagement rates on TikTok. Add in the sponsored post, and it still was 3 or 4 times above their baseline. So trending content and topics perform very well. Where we got really excited, and we'll talk about in a minute about what you guys care about for measurement, was the measurability of this through partners like Circana. Can you take this trending content that's on the native platforms, put some paid media behind it, and then measure through a sales lift, did it lead to more sales at the register? Now, the numbers were tremendous. We're very excited by the idea of a 4x return on ad spend a 2.8% lift, on what has been, I don't want to speak for you, but normally on the soup category, that's pretty high. So seeing that trending content and moments in time married to the right creators can really change and move the needle, as opposed to just simply picking the biggest influencer or jumping on the biggest trend. It's really the right trend at the right time. So I guess any thoughts on this campaign, and then also any other agile marketing trend spotting you guys do in other mediums as well?
Yeah, we were thrilled to see these results. We went into this campaign not really knowing how it was going to perform, because it was something that we've never done before. And so I think just seeing that this translated to positive brand health and also sales impact was huge for us. We implement agile marketing across various different tactics that we execute. So with our recipe strategy, we also work with recipe-first publishers to create recipe content using trends and data based on what's popular to inform the recipes that we create. So that's another outlet in how we use agile marketing. Another way that we use agile marketing is through personalization. So we leverage data and real-time data, like purchase-based data, weather data, day part data, to create personalized content and deliver that to the consumer at that right moment. And we always optimize on an ongoing basis. So we're not just agile in how we use trends, but we're also agile in how we optimize and also use data to drive personalization.
Well, sophistication, it sounds really in depth. So whether it's for your other agile campaigns or even creators, how do you think about is this more of a top of funnel, a middle funnel, lower funnel play? Where do you kind of put it?
Yeah, I would say it spans the entire funnel. I think it really depends on who the audience is and how familiar they are with Campbell. Campbell's has high awareness, but young people especially don't know that they can cook with Campbell's, and they don't know how they can cook with Campbell. So for an audience like that, we're educating them, we're driving awareness of the benefits of cooking with Campbell, but at the end of the day, we ultimately want to drive sales. So I think for that audience, we would prioritize upper funnel, but also look at sales to measure that impact.
Follow-up, do you think that certain platforms like TikTok versus Meta versus Snap or other places, do you think of them in terms of different ways, or they all are just an audience and all of them can convert?
I would say they all can convert. I think that primarily we have focused a lot on Instagram and on TikTok. I think on TikTok, you're seeing the hashtag TikTok made me buy it, right? You're seeing the influencer who is posting all of her Amazon buys that she loves. So I think that is a natural space for us to lean into to drive that shoppability for the brand. So I think that's more so where we're leaning. You would agree, Rachel?
Yeah, I would say, we use, multiple social platforms, but we've been leaning heavily into TikTok recently to align with the trends, because the trends tend to start on TikTok and then they spread to other channels. So we want to be on TikTok, but then also the channels where the trends are being used.
Well, so we have, the triumvirate here. We have a fantastic brand, agency, executional technology partner. I want to talk about the idea of collaboration and the importance of it. And I'm not getting choked up, but really, you think about the meaning of life, and this is a zoom out. It's a mixture of creativity and connectivity. And whatever you do, whether it's business, family, otherwise, the ability to do something you couldn't do by yourself is why I think we're all here. So with that heavy thing on top of that, why do you think it's important to have that kind of special connection between the multiple parties, across different departments?
Yeah, I would say for us, collaboration is so key. I think, especially for this campaign, we work so closely with influential, your team has been awesome. And then, Rachel and I we talk all day, every day. So that collaboration is definitely there. And I think one thing that I will say is being on the agency side for so long, it's great when you have those clients and you are being seen just as one team. So we are one team. We get on the phone, we brainstorm together, we're collaborating. There have been moments, even in creating this with you all, of like, is this gonna work? We're like, we don't know. Okay, well, let's try it anyway, right? And it's okay for us as an agency not to come to Campbell's and always have like the right answer, but for us to all bring our levels of expertise together and to create great work and to impact, the Campbell's consumer, because that really is the ultimate goal.
Yeah, test and learn is a key part of all of this. And I guess pursuant to that, so a lot of things in media and what we do is testing and learning. If you guys could maybe take a zoom out to the next 3 to 5 years, crystal ball comes out, you get the audience full of members of marketing and CPG. What do you think is going to be the most relevant new ways to market and engage with people in the next few years?
Yeah, I would say it's hard to come up with something new. I would say, for me, I think it's more of an evolution of what's currently happening today. I think that personalization will continue to be important. Consumers are going to continue to expect that the content that they're getting from advertisers is relevant to them, especially this younger generation. So I think with the proliferation of even better data, it will require us to just personalize our content even more.
And I would agree with that in terms of, continuing to evolve what marketers currently do doing right now. We heard a little bit about it earlier, I think 2 chats ago, of purpose-driven marketing. I think that is something that is going to really continue. We all in here have heard about the younger audiences, especially that Gen Z audience. There's so much more depth to them. They care about things. They care about a brand's values. They want to know what the brand truly stands for. And so that is going to be a requirement in order to connect to them, to communicate that. To develop campaigns, whether it's around sustainability, female empowerment, tackling hunger, which we do on other aspects of Campbell's does and a part of their organization, and also ensuring that the organization's values are genuine in which the way they are being communicated. And I think that type of purpose-driven marketing, it's going to come out through personalization. It's going to come out through AI. It's going to come out through various video formats. So it's exciting to see.
So another one of the Publicis clients, we work with Macy's, and I'm on the board of Big Brothers Big Sisters of America for mentorship. They've also gotten in a big way around the parade, and to see the response from Gen Z talking about mentorship and giving back, whether it's Tom's shoes or whether it's finding some way that you can connect to someone. I mean, I think it's old school, but it's coming back around, and it really is a generational, uptick. So it's been great.
Yeah.
So speaking of Gen Z, our favorite, we promised some terms for you guys. You have any favorite Gen Z terms that you guys have come across, whether in work, with your families, your friends?
I don't know if this is Gen Z, and I'm afraid that my little cousins are gonna see this and they're gonna correct me, but whatever, they can talk about me. But I lean more towards the phrase like it's giving. It's the perfect way to really describe an atmosphere, a person, an individual. In here, you could say it's giving innovation, it's giving marketing excellence, right? I think that's all I can come up with. I think it may be millennial. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, so it's hard to talk about a favorite term without sounding like you're trying too hard. I would say for me, I like fire, or it's fire, like this event is fire, this dinner is fire.
It's lit, it's fire. Yeah.
But when I talk about it, I don't usually say it, so saying it out loud is kind of awkward. I usually just use the emoji. So if I'm texting, I'll just use the fire emoji. So good tip for anyone who's trying to be cool.
Your internal monologue is just this fire. I like it. That's cool.
Inspire is a good one.
So there are many funny ones. Obviously, for those who are on TikTok, there's like the no cap, which is a whole kind of weird because actually cap is different than no cap. My two favorite is I think it's really relevant to like how you think about it. Like, is somebody sus? Are they suspect? So sus is a good one for me. That person's sus. And then one that actually has been around for a minute, but I got reminded of it last night. Also rhymes, bus, as in bussin'. So just giving you guys like the Gen Z mix. That one for 2021, but
You're like a Gen Z dictionary.
I mean, I'm on the oldest side of millennial, but my job is to be on TikTok. So, all right. So sus means suspect. Bus is a good thing. Like that's bussin'. That's a good thing. Yeah. I know there's no questions, but does anyone else have any terms they want to talk about? Oh, we got one. Glazing.
Glazing is a negative term for sucking up to someone too much, right? So don't be glazing.
Brown nose glazing. I got you.
Got it.
Cooking. Yes. Let Russell cook. Yeah. So cooking.
That's one we should use, right?
Yeah, we should.
That's true. Yeah, cooking. Ice Spice. She ate. Yes. You ate that up and left no crumbs.
Yeah.
Just like this panel today. Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.